Maya readjusted her backpack as she walked down the narrow aisle of flat 447. At 17, she had earned her spot at the National Science Conference through hard work, dedication, and countless late nights studying chemistry equations. Her acceptance letter sat folded carefully in her notebook, a reminder of how far she had come. The flight attendant, a woman with blonde hair pulled back tight and a name tag reading Karen Walsh, watched Maya with narrowed eyes. Something about that stare made Maya's stomach twist. She had felt those looks before, the kind that followed her through department stores, the kind that questioned her presence in advanced classes, the kind that assumed the worst. "Excuse me, miss," Karen said, her voice sharp. "Can I see your boarding pass again?" Maya had already shown it twice. She pulled it out anyway, keeping her voice steady and polite. "Here you go." Karen studied it for what felt like forever, her lips pressed into a thin line. Finally, she handed it back with a dismissive wave. Maya found her seat, CRC, and settled in by the window. She could still feel Karen's eyes on her back. 20 minutes into the flight, chaos erupted 3 rows ahead. A woman in a cream-colored suit stood up, her voice rising above the engine noise. Christine Porter, according to the murmurs around Maya, was a jewelry designer returning from a show in New York. "My bracelet is gone." Christine's hands flew to her wrist. "It was right here. Diamonds, platinum, worth $30,000. Someone took it." Karen rushed over immediately, her expression shifting to serious concern. She scanned the cabin, and her eyes locked onto Maya with frightening certainty. No questions asked. No other passengers considered. Just Maya. "You," Karen pointed directly at her. "Stand up." Maya's heart hammered against her ribs. "What? Why me? I saw you walk past Mrs. Porter's seat during boarding. Your bag was open." "That's not true. I went straight to my seat." But Karen had already signaled to someone in the front. A man in a dark suit appeared, his badge identifying him as Derek Stone, the air marshal. His hand rested near his belt, ready for anything. "Miss, I need you to cooperate," Derek said, his voice low but firm. "Empty your pockets and your bag. Now." The entire cabin had gone silent. Phones appeared, recording the moment. Maya felt dozens of eyes burning into her skin. She wanted to scream, to cry, to demand they look at anyone else. But she knew how this worked. Resistance would only make things worse. "I don't have anything that isn't mine," Maya said clearly, her voice shaking but strong. "You're making a mistake." Christine leaned forward, her face twisted with certainty. "She was near my seat. I remember seeing her." "Check her bag." Maya slowly unzipped her backpack with trembling fingers. Textbooks, notebooks, pens, her acceptance letter, a water bottle, headphones. Nothing that sparkled. Nothing that belonged to Christine Porter. Karen wasn't satisfied. "Check her pockets. Check everything." Derek pulled out handcuffs, the metal catching the overhead lights. The sound of them clicking open sent ice through Maya's veins. "This is procedure for theft allegations on aircraft," he said, almost apologetic but not quite. "Turn around." "No," Maya whispered. Then louder, "No. I didn't take anything. This is wrong." But Derek moved forward anyway. The cuffs closed around her wrists with 2 sharp clicks that echoed through the cabin. Maya bit her lip hard enough to taste blood, refusing to let the tears fall. She would not give them that satisfaction. Karen stood with her arms crossed, looking vindicated. "We'll search her belongings properly once we land. Security will be waiting." A passenger in the row behind spoke up, an older black woman with silver hair. "This is ridiculous. You didn't even check anyone else. Why just her?" "Ma'am, please stay out of this," Derek warned. "Because she's black," the woman continued, her voice rising with righteous anger. "That's why. We all see it. A few other voices murmured agreement, but most stayed silent, complicit in their quiet. Maya sat back down in her seat, hands cuffed behind her, her face burning with humiliation and rage. She had done nothing wrong. Nothing except exist in a space where someone decided she didn't belong. Christine sat back down, looking satisfied. Karen returned to her station, whispering to another flight attendant. Maya closed her eyes and tried to breathe through the panic clawing at her chest. Then she heard footsteps. Confident, measured, purposeful. The first-class curtain swept open with a smooth motion. A man stepped through wearing a perfectly tailored charcoal suit, his presence commanding immediate attention. Marcus Reed, CEO of Reed Technologies, one of the most successful black entrepreneurs in the country. His face had graced magazine covers, news interviews, and business conferences around the world, but right now, his expression showed nothing but cold fury. What exactly is happening here? His voice cut through the cabin like a blade. Karen turned, recognition flickering across her face. Her confidence faltered. Sir, this is a security matter. Please return to your seat. Marcus walked past her without acknowledging the request. His eyes found Maya, still handcuffed, and something broke in his carefully controlled expression. Pain. Anger. A father's protective instinct. Maya, he said softly. The cabin erupted in whispers. Maya looked up at her father, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. Dad. The word hung in the air like thunder. Karen's face went pale. Derek froze mid-step. Christine's mouth fell open. Marcus Reed's daughter. The girl they had humiliated, accused, and handcuffed without evidence was the daughter of one of the most powerful men in the industry. Get those cuffs off my daughter. Right now. Marcus's voice dropped to a dangerous quiet that somehow felt louder than shouting. Derek fumbled with his keys, hands shaking as he unlocked the handcuffs. Maya rubbed her wrists, red marks already forming on her brown skin. Marcus placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Are you hurt? I'm okay, Maya whispered, though they both knew that was not entirely true. He turned to face Karen and Derek, his expression hardening. Now, someone want to explain why my daughter was treated like a criminal without a shred of evidence. Silence stretched across the cabin. Karen opened her mouth, then closed it. No excuse seemed adequate now. There was a theft. Christine finally spoke, her voice smaller now. My bracelet. I just assumed. You assumed, Marcus repeated slowly. Based on what? Like she walked down the aisle. Like she had a backpack. Or was it something else entirely? Christine looked away, shame coloring her cheeks. Marcus pulled out his phone. I have connections with this airline's security team. We're going to review the cabin footage right now. Every second of it. He made 2 calls. Within minutes, a laptop was brought from the cockpit. The captain himself appeared, looking nervous and apologetic. The footage loaded on screen, visible to those nearby. They watched. Maya boarding, going directly to her seat. Christine placing her bracelet in the seat pocket in front of her, then getting up to use the restroom. Another woman, Christine's assistant Amy, reaching across, taking the bracelet, and slipping it into her own purse. Christine gasped. Amy. But. She's been with me for 3 years. Amy, sitting 2 rows back, tried to shrink into her seat. Derek moved toward her immediately. Ma'am, I need you to come with me. The bracelet was recovered from Amy's purse within seconds. She had planned to claim she found it later, playing the hero. Instead, she was now facing federal charges for theft on an aircraft. Karen stood frozen, realizing the magnitude of her mistake. She had accused an innocent girl, handcuffed her, humiliated her, all because of bias and assumption. I'm sorry, Karen stammered. I didn't know. Like she was my daughter. Marcus finished. So if she wasn't, this would be acceptable. If she was just another black teenager, it would be fine to treat her this way. No answer came. Because they all knew the truth, the captain addressed the cabin personally, apologizing to Maya directly. The other passengers who had recorded the incident were now posting different videos, once showing the truth, showing Marcus Reed defending his daughter, showing the real thief being caught. Marcus spoke to the airline's executive team through a video call right there on the plane. This is unacceptable. My legal team will be in touch, but more importantly, this airline needs mandatory bias training for every employee. This needs to never happen to any child again. The executives agreed quickly, promising immediate action. But Marcus knew promises were cheap. He would follow up. He would make sure. Maya finally spoke, her voice stronger now. I want people to know this isn't just about me. This happens every day to people who don't have someone powerful to defend them. That needs to change. Her father looked at her with fierce pride. And it will. Because you're going to help change it. As the plane prepared to land, passengers approached Maya one by one. The woman with silver hair hugged her. Others apologized for their silence. The phones that had recorded her humiliation now recorded her vindication. Karen was suspended pending investigation. Derek faced review for his handling of the situation. Amy was arrested upon landing. Christine issued a public apology, donating to organizations fighting racial profiling, but Maya knew the real work was just beginning. She would speak about this. She would make sure her voice carried beyond this one flight. And maybe, just maybe, the next young black girl who walked onto a plane would be seen for who she truly was instead of what someone assumed her to be. As they walked through the airport together, Marcus squeezed his daughter's hand. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you from this. You did, Maya said. But more importantly, you taught me to protect myself. To speak up. To never accept injustice. She thought about the science conference she was heading to, about all the young students who would be there, about the future they would build together. A future where worth was measured by character and ability, not by the color of skin. Where justice was not just a word but a reality. Flight 447 had changed something. Not just for Maya Reed, but for everyone who witnessed what happened. Sometimes it takes one moment, one stand, one refusal to accept the unacceptable to shift the course of things, and Maya was just getting started.